So when we hear the word biker, images spring to mind of like Hell's Angels, criminals on two wheels. But at the other end of the moral spectrum, there's Bikers Against Child Abuse, also known as BACA. And with me tonight, I have Motown and Phoenix representing this organization. Welcome to the show, Motown and Phoenix.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks
joining
for having
me.
us.
So Motown, would you take me back to the beginning? How did this mighty organization, this international organization with chapters around the world, get its start?
Well, BACA was started in Utah in 1995 by a fellow biker named J. Paul Lilly. We call him Chief. And Chief is a registered clinical child therapist, works with young abused children. And what he found was that often the work in his practice was hindered when the child went home and the abuser had some sort of influence or access to them. He asked some fellow bikers to help him out, and the first ride was born. I think there was 34 or 35 bikes on that initial ride, and BACA was born. It worked so well for that child, it's grown into an international organization in 16 countries around the world.
That's amazing, totally amazing. Phoenix, I see you have a teddy bear on your knee with some of BACA's colors on it. Can you tell us about the role of this teddy bear?
He's a BACA bear, and every child that we bring into our family gets a BACA bear, but before the child gets the bear, every biker in the chapter gives the bear a big hug, and we each put all our love into the bear, and the child gets to witness this as he goes around. Every biker gives the bear a big hug and passes it on to the next biker, who gives him a big hug, and so on and so forth.
I understand that actually works.
Yes.
There's been some success stories in that. Motown, you shared one with me earlier. Could you share with the people about this story?
Well, there was one young lad that we worked with that hadn't been out of the house in 2 or 3 months. The abuser lived close by, and he was living in fear. And although his dad had tried for 6 months to alleviate those fears, we had a call probably within 45 minutes after we left. The young man was out riding his bike around with his friends, wearing his BACA cut, told his dad his BACA cut kept him safe, and he was being a child again, and that's success for us.
I understand that actually work with like the authorities, the child protection authorities, and that you have their blessing in the work that you do.
Absolutely. We work with everyone who's in the system to help abused children. So the police, the courts, the Ministry of Children and Families, we work with them all in conjunction. Now, nobody does what we do because we're very specific to the child's fear, but we work with everyone in the system to help children.
So walk me through what happens. There's a disclosure of child abuse. It's brought to your attention. You swing into action. What do you do? What happens?
Well, the parent first contacts us and asks us for our help, and then we go through an assessment process to make sure that the situation meets our criteria. And once we have accepted that family, once our board votes to accept that family into the fold, then we meet with the family and we do what's called a level 1, and we bring that child. That child essentially becomes a biker. And one thing kids know is that bikers look after their own, and when they're part of us, we look after them.
Yeah, they get their own cut, their own road name, they're part of the family.
So the perpetrator, he hears about this, and that tends to make him back off and stay away. Is that something like that?
One of the things that our literature will tell you is that we intend to make a statement to all people involved with that child, that this child is with us now, and that we're not going to tolerate any further abuse. We stand shoulder to shoulder with that child, and they're in our family, and that's usually enough.
There's a lot of people that work with you about volunteers. If somebody wants to, say, reach out to you, to your organization, maybe they have a child who's abused, they know of an abused child, they can just contact the information that's on the screen, and you kind of take it from there and work with them.
Absolutely. We have an email, we have a helpline. They contact us, and the child liaison will get back to them immediately and go through the process of seeing if their situation fits BACA.
And if people want to support you, you're looking for volunteers. You're always welcoming volunteers. If people would like to make a donation, they can do that too. They can contact the information on the screen and you welcome that kind of support too.
Absolutely. 100% of our funds are spent on the children. One of the big things we spend money on is paying for therapy for kids whose parents can't afford it or don't qualify for government-sponsored therapy. We pay. We just want to get the kids the help that they require.
Well, you know, I haven't got enough praise for what you guys do, and I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing with us, and encourage the viewers and who wants to be supportive to do that, whatever way is appropriate. So thank you very much for joining me, both of you, Phoenix and Motown.
Thank you for having us.
us.